packed up all the way to your brain in the form of a rusty iron spike.
You're useless. Useless.
It seems to be pressing on the free will portion of your brain, inhibiting it.
You're a quack.
I sense the earth above my head now moving towards the sun and feel the moon a spin beneath me, my balance unbalanced with footless footing, and pitch I down toward the pitch and fall into that void without and feel that void within.
I want you. No.
No.
I want you. I've waited long enough.
No.
I want you. If I can't have you forever, I'll have you right now. Now.
73 books in the Bible. You know how many of them mention alcohol?
How many?
72.
I'll drink to that.
It's what God would want.
Hi, my name is David Shuck. This is probably my fourth or fifth show at the Guild. I'm playing John Faustus, sometimes known as Faust in other plays or operas. Faustus is a troublemaker. He is trying to drive Hamlet and Luther into particular directions that he thinks are valuable for them, and to some extent amusing for Faustus. He succeeds to some extent in ways you'll discover when you come see the show, and in other ways he is a bitter failure, which leads, I suppose, to what happens to Faustus later outside of this play that we all know about him from other sources. True philosophy is like the insolent child who, despite the explanation given by God the Father, always responds with, "Why?"
I see you in confession on Sunday.
I'm Chuck Larkowski. I have the wonderful opportunity of playing Martin Luther. This is kind of interesting for me because when I read the first play, I saw myself as Faustus, and I said to myself, "Gee, I really want that part." And then several of my friends said, "Oh no, you're Luther, and so I kind of wrapped my head around that, and sure enough, ended up as Luther.
And as for you, I wash my hands of you. Pray for your soul, Dr. Faustus.
It did enlighten me this morning. It dawned upon me that in my dream, the sun is the sun. The Son of God, the light of the world, the Christ.
Oh, Jesus.
All I have learned of late don't show the truth. The Father is in the heavens, and His Son is at the center of all things. Our lives revolve around the newly risen sun. I'm Jared Mola. I'm playing the role of Hamlet. It's pretty much the Hamlet that everyone knows and loves, except you get to see the origin of his obsessions. This is my first time performing at Dayton Theater Guild. I performed a lot when I lived in Spokane, Washington, but this is my debut in Dayton. How strange that name becomes me. Oh, prithee stand, save kneeling for the King of Kings, not me.
You know it's not your heart I'm interested in.
Easy, child.
He's mine, Father. He's mine. And you get yours out of the gutter. Hi, I'm Lynn Kesson. I'm playing the Eternal Feminine, which consists of 4 different roles. I get to play Gretchen the barmaid, which is a lot of fun. She's basically the St. Pauli girl. Then I get to play Helen, which is Faustus's prostitute, the fallen nun. And that's a little interesting. Something I haven't done before. I also get to play the Virgin Mary, another role that I've never done before. And also I get to play Lady Voltimand, who is a messenger to Hamlet. So it's been challenging doing the 4 different roles, but it's been a lot of fun.
What about the play in general? It is an amalgamation. It has 3 main characters, only one of whom was actually a person, 2 of whom are better known, perhaps, but fictional, Hamlet and Faustus. One woman who plays 4 different characters, all thrown together in one place where they might theoretically have existed, all interacting to each other. And what would have happened if that had occurred?
This is such an interesting combination of fact and fiction, with the one historical character and the other very famous fictional characters. It's an interesting combination of very serious issues. I mean, 1517 and the 95 Theses, this is one of the turning points of European civilization, after all. And then it has whimsy and a little bit of tongue-in-cheek kind of take on these cultural issues and so forth. So we've got very serious religious issues, we've got a historical cataclysm, but we've got humor and verbal wit and puns, and it's really a terrific bit of theater just from the standpoint of language and all of that. So that's a lot of fun to do.
It's basically sex, drugs, and rock and roll in 16th century Germany. With Martin Luther. I mean, what else would you expect from a play with Martin Luther in it? It's really funny. I read the script and I absolutely loved it. It's intellectual, but it also has a very broad humor to it.
It makes Martin Luther more human to me. And I know that sounds weird, but I'm Lutheran myself. So I've always had him way, way up there on a pedestal, and he should be. But this makes it seem, he seems more real to me.
This is probably my 3rd or 4th time working with Chuck. He and I are pretty good foils against each other, Chuck Larkowski. Lynn and I have done musicals before, but this is my first straight play with her. She's a delight. And Jared, our Hamlet, is an absolute joy. This is my first time working with him. He is, I think all of our first times working with him, he has some of the longest speeches known to man outside of Shakespeare, and they are somewhat Shakespearean. He's just done a wonderful job finding the character and learning this role. It's been great.
Oh, the cast is wonderful. David and I have worked together before. Lynn and I have worked a little together before. Jared's the newcomer in the bunch, but I think we've meshed very, very well. I think it's a really beautifully cast show, if I do say so myself.
David and Chuck are fantastic to work with. And Lynn is wonderful with all her different parts. So I'm absolutely thrilled to be in this show.
Oh, I love my castmates. I've never worked with Saul as a director before, and that's something I've always wanted to do. So it's really exciting for me.
Well, Saul is a wonderful director. I always enjoy it, my 3rd or 4th show with him, and I'll come back for more.
I'm very, very pleased to be here. I'm having a wonderful, wonderful time.
I really, really, really hope a lot of people come see it, and I think it's going to be wonderful.
Hope you enjoy the show.
Come see the show. You'll be glad you did.